Has it ever happened to you when suddenly you just can't think of anything, or let's say your creativity does not seem to flow effortlessly anymore? Your mind just stops, it completely freezes up, and you are totally unable to process a single thought. If you know exactly what I'm talking about, then you have faced a mental block. It is a very common thing to deal with, and honestly, it happens to me from time to time. Maybe it happens to me more because I'm heavily into content creation, and that is what I do. So my brain is constantly thinking about what I should speak about next, what topic to cover, and how to help you. It can get deeply exhausting if you do not take proper care of yourself and put the right measures in place. So, a mental block can happen to absolutely anyone. If we look at the simple definition, a mental block is just an unexplainable psychological wall. It completely stops you from thinking clearly, being creative, or performing a specific action. It literally feels like your brain suddenly locks you out, even though you are fully capable of doing the task. Welcome back to Earth Dragon Speaks. My name is Vin, and today we are going to break through that wall together. To heal a mental block, we first need to understand what kind of wall we are staring at. As per my research, there are four common types of mental blocks that hit us in this modern world. First, there is the creative block. You must have heard this very often. This is when you are staring at a completely blank page, a blank canvas, or a blank document, and you are utterly unable to generate any new ideas. So, writers call this as writer's block, but it can happen to anyone trying to create something from scratch. And the second one we face is the analytical block. This is when you get completely stuck on a specific life problem and your brain is unable to see a logical path forward. You keep looping the same data over and over, but you can't find the exit. Now, the third, there is the performance block. This is when you completely freak out and freeze up right before a big speech, an exam, a job interview, or a sports event. And in the world of psychology, people call this choking under pressure. And fourth, there is the emotional block. This is a heavy one. It happens when you avoid a necessary task because your brain secretly associates that task with stress, fear, or past failure. Your mind freezes just to protect you from feeling bad. So, why do these blocks happen to us? It usually comes down to simple things: mental fatigue from overwork, a deep lack of sleep, or the information overload we talked about in our last episode. It can also come from perfectionism, the terrifying fear of making a mistake or creating something imperfect completely paralyzes your ability to even start. And finally, chronic stress and a lack of structure makes the brain feel so overwhelmed that it simply chooses to opt out entirely. Now, I'm not sure if you are into astrology or cosmic energies, but have you heard of a period called Mercury retrograde? It's very interesting because a lot of people notice that the common impact of this alignment associates heavily with mental blocks. And sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. But during this period, many people truly believe their communication and thinking face a massive wall. Whether it is a cosmic energy or just our daily lives, there is an unexplained energy that keeps pumping through our environment that causes us to feel exhausted and leading straight to a mental block. We need to become much more aware when this happens. Think about how we manage our energy frequency every day. Everything we are attracts things based on our frequency, but sometimes there can be heavy obstructions in our energy simply because of the people around us. Look at how we consume things on our phones. Let's say you open Instagram and you start watching reels. In one moment, you see a video that makes you cry. The very next second, you swipe, and there is a video that makes you laugh out loud. This non stop emotional bouncing is not good for your system. It turns your energy upside down. You need to give yourself time to actually process the first emotion before rushing into the next one. Otherwise, you will literally turn your mind crazy. That is exactly how the mind works. It needs time to breathe. Let's talk about the practical things I do for myself whenever I face a mental block. So many of these are actually simple adjustments, and some of them you might already be doing without even realizing it. So, the first rule is before you sit down to process big information or do heavy work, do not spend that time scrolling on your phone. If you want to scroll, do it after your work is finished, never right before. You have to give your mind total freedom from processing random data before you ask it to be creative. I am not going to tell you to never scroll again. We live in a modern digital world and we receive valuable knowledge through screens as well. But if you have a habit of scrolling for an hour straight at a single stretch, you need to break that pattern. Break it into small numbers of minutes. Allow the information you just took in to actually settle and process. Sometimes, if we move at the exact same speed or live in the exact same routine for too long, a day comes when it all feels completely monotonous. And the moment life feels monotonous, right, the brain freezes. When that happens, you need to change directions. You can change directions while you work, read, or perform any task that you usually do in the exact same manner. So, very recently, when I faced a heavy mental block myself, I physically moved my workspace from one direction to another. So, instead of sitting at my usual workstation desk, I chose to sit right down on the floor. I faced a completely different direction in the room. I was facing east direction and I gave myself a brand new point of view. It sounds so simple, but a literal change of perspective resets your brain and brings the clarity and flow right back. So you can break your patterns in small, fun ways. Let's say you wake up every single day at 5 a.m. Try delaying it by just 15 minutes or half an hour from your usual time. Break the routine. Go into your room right now and change five small things inside your space. It can be on the table. Move a lamp, shift a book, or turn a chair. Decluttering also works beautifully every single time. I mean, it helps me. So look around your room if there are things sitting there that you do not need anymore. And I think we all face this situation, right, where we have a lot of things and we just keep it there and we don't even look at them for the next 5 years. So just give them away to someone else. Clearing physical space instantly clears your psychological space. And another beautiful tool is nostalgia. Oh, I do this whenever I feel that there is some block in my creative thinking. I watch a movie where I once absolutely loved when I was young. So you can do the same. Let that old feeling wash over you. Sometimes that simple shift in time can spark changes in your mind that you can instantly see. Almost everyone has a smartphone in their hands these days. So instead of using it to doom scroll, use it to challenge your brain out of its freeze. Pick a simple theme, and I'm sure you know how to take photographs. Give yourself a quick challenge. Look around your immediate environment and find five different objects with the exact same color. But make sure they are unique to your eyes. This simple game forces your brain to snap out of its blurry overthinking and anchors you directly back into the present room. And if your head still feels entirely too full, use the classic scribbling method. Grab a notebook, write down whatever comes to your mind, and just scribble. I have done this. I'm not very proud of the scribbles that I have done because they could look really very dangerous and it seems to me like madness. But let those heavy, unorganized thoughts come right out of your head in the form of raw writing. Do not try to make it look pretty. Just let the pen move. When you look back at that paper, you will be shocked to see what was actually blocking you and how your brain functions under the surface. All right, those are a few of the common things and practices that I have generally followed, when I face a mental block. But before we close today's chapter, I just want to leave you with a gentle reminder. Some of the teachings and messages I share here won't resonate with every single one of you, and that is absolutely fine. There is no need to take them too seriously. We are all just human beings learning, sharing our thoughts, and navigating our own experiences. Everything I say on Earth Dragon Speaks comes straight from my own personal research and my real life experiences. So, how you process my words might land completely differently depending on who you are and what you take out of what I speak here. So, please be very careful as you navigate your life. Be your own first person to take a call. Do not blindly follow anyone. Understand your own situation first and then decide what works for your soul. So, if this message brought you some comfort or helped your brain breathe today, please give this video a like and hit the subscribe button to join our family. Take a deep breath, protect your softness, and remember to look after your environment. Take care of your beautiful heart. And I will see you next time. Bye for now.